So today we're looking at different mountain bikes and different bike packing setups, sort of based on what you actually want to do with those bikes. This is Cotic Hardtail mountain bike. It's kind of one of the classic all-round mountain bikes, really. This is like the latest version. Fits a dropper post, suspension obviously, and without the bike packing setup it's kind of trail centres, all-day rides, bit of everything. Nice thing about it is it works equally well as a bike packing bike as well. So we've got fairly minimal setup on this. It's kind of overnighter, maybe a couple of days riding, certainly enough space to carry stuff for 2 or 3 days. Got a frame bag here. This is just a small one, but if you see the size of the frame, then you could easily fit a longer one there as well, and still fit the bottle in. But that's great for things like spare in a tube, tools that you might need to access during the course of the day, snacks potentially. Although with this we've also got the tech bag, which is waterproof, so it's great for a little handheld camera or your phone, but equally good for food that you want to access on the go, and you can generally just unhook that single-handedly to get into what you need there as well. On the front we've got bar roll. Generally in the bar roll itself, keep things like your sleeping bag and your bivy bag, stuff that you're probably not going to need to access during the day, just because it's a little bit more of a pain to get that sorted. So we've also got the pouch on the front here as well, so if you do need stuff that you can get hold of, then that's super easy to get into while you're riding along. And then finally at the rear of the bike we've got the saddle pack. This generally will put dry clothes in for the night, and towards the top make sure you've got things like waterproof jacket, maybe a warm jacket as well, anything that you think you might need during the course of the day if the weather changes. So with the saddle pack, as you can see we've got a dropper post here. Just to protect the dropper we've put some insulation tape on there. What that does mean is that the drop of the post is compromised slightly. You can see actually we didn't need to tape it down that far, we've been a little bit over eager there. Obviously you could run a rigid post if you wanted to, but if this is your everyday bike, then you probably don't want to change anything. It works just as well like this. Okay, you lose a little bit of functionality around being able to drop the saddle, but generally when I'm bike packing, I'm out for a long time, I'm not too bothered about nailing it down every descent in the same way as I would be if I was on a fun day ride. This is a Cotic Flare full suspension bike, kind of a trail bike really. It's sort of, I guess, at the extreme end of the spectrum of bikes that you might take on a bike packing trip. Might not be your first choice, but if it's your only mountain bike, then still better to get out and ride, isn't it? We've got a super minimalist setup on this, kind of borderline long day ride, being able to carry some extra stuff, just about enough for maybe an overnighter as well. So we've got frame bag. This is actually a custom Restrap and Cotic one, so it fits specifically in this space. Restrap actually do custom bags for any bike, so you can have a look on the website, send through a template, and essentially you can get something similar to this. Obviously your bike may actually just take a stock one anyway. Then got the Canister Bag, which is kind of like a micro version of the bar roll, all contained in one though, there's no separate dry bag. Great for extra food again, maybe a spare layer, other bits and pieces in there too. And then finally we've got the saddle pack, which again is all in one, completely waterproof. And then depending on what you're doing, it might be great for, if you've got a really small sleeping bag and bivy bag, you're probably going to be able to get them in there. If you don't, then you're probably going to need a rucksack as well. Also great for just kind of down jacket, insulated jacket, waterproof, something like that. If you don't want to wear a rucksack for a day ride, good way of just getting it out of the way. Similar issue to the hardtail, but actually if you've got a dropper post, then you want to just tape that area just to protect it. What it does mean is that you're a little bit compromised in the amount of drop that you can get from your saddle, so it's something to bear in mind if you are using it on a dropper seat post. this is kind of the ultimate, carry literally everything. I want to ride around the world, be completely self-sustained for the entire time kind of bike. As you can see, we've got virtually every kind of luggage strapped to it as well. So we've got panniers front and rear, we've got the Rando bag at the front, got a frame bag, got a top tube bag, and there's a dry bag strapped to the panniers as well. So on this kind of setup, this is what I'd normally put in each of the bags. So if we start off with the frame bag, it's kind of a place that I keep all my tools, spare tyre, spare tubes, that kind of thing. And then top tube bag, just anything that you really want to be easily accessible. So snacks, phone maybe, that kind of thing. If we stay at the back of the bike, then kind of sleeping systems in the panniers, so tent. Usually quite nice to separate the tent from sleeping bag and things that you want to keep completely dry. Maybe some spare warm clothes, down jacket, that kind of thing, stuff that you can wear during the evening. Then moving to the front of the bike, then Rando bag, you've got this nice map case at the front, so you can keep stuff that you want to be able to see there. Inside it, maybe keep some more food, and equally keep a bit of space in there to pop food in as you're travelling through the day. Waterproof jacket maybe. And then again, more front pannier bags, that's the kitchen sink. Anything else that you want to carry, there is so much carrying capacity on this bike. It's pretty crazy really. So yeah, it's carry everything, literally.